Good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are having a great start to your Friday. It's fresh and chilly here. I'm over at the Wonderful Cow at the moment and really excited to jump in and chat today about feeling whole within ourselves. And it is one of the biggest challenges that we have in relationships with others as well. And this can create all sorts of challenges within relationships where if we're not feeling whole, if we're not loving ourselves, and in my experience, our relationships truly are the most magnificent mirror and the most magnificent opportunity for healing wounds within ourselves. Hey Buffy, great to have you on, hun. Hey Di, lovely to see you. And I have you on here, darling. And so it's paramount that we're working through some of this stuff because in my experience, and certainly within lots of my clients' experiences, whatever the world is reflecting back to us is generally what it's indicating something that needs to be healed within ourselves. So if you're currently experiencing a relationship or a challenge or a circumstance within your life that is irritating you or frustrating you or annoying you or having you feel out of control or upset or annoyed or any of those things, hey Lisa, great to have you on, darling, then I can assure you that there's something going on internally that's actually attracting that experience to you. I think we truly are given so many incredible opportunities, and if you've ever been in the experience, and I can certainly put my hands up, when we're overly negative or overly critical of ourselves, or we've got low self-worth, and you tend to attract the same situation but with lots and lots of different people, that's when we truly know. Hey Michelle, great to have you on. Hey Bernie, great to have you on, sweet. That's when we truly know that we've got something going on internally that keeps repeating these same circumstances. But the challenge with that is it becomes a bit of a belief system too, that this is just the way that men are, this is just the way that life is, or this is the way that women are, or this is the way that relationships are, or any of that stuff. And there's so much that we've taken on board. Hey Marissa, hey Sandra, lovely to have you guys on. There's so much that we've taken on board from 0 to 7 in how we've perceived the world, how we've perceived ourselves, and that's when a lot of our limiting beliefs are actually created and formed, and then we have circumstances in life that continue to reinforce that same belief because we've already created the wound or the issue internally. I don't like to use the word issue, it's more like a wound, but it's like a magnet to everything that it sounds like you're released. Really feeling that as well too, Lisa, and I've certainly experienced that throughout times in my life, and it's just I got to come full circle the other week, and it's just such a blessing, and when I say full circle, there's always deeper and deeper levels with this particular work, and that's the work of working on ourselves, becoming the best version of ourselves, not from a place of I'm not enough already. So many people feel this way, and it really does come from the ego survival mind, trying to belong, trying to fit in, and then we get frustrated, we get annoyed by others' outside circumstances where we feel like, oh, now I need this person's approval, or we mightn't even be consciously thinking that. We might just be conforming or trying to please somebody else or trying to, make them happy. It's all forms of trying to get approval. Hey Christy, great to have you on, honey. And it really can create so many challenges in relationships because when two people are attracted together, generally there's an equal and opposite wound on the opposite spectrum. And that's why it's like we get so enmeshed in other people's stuff. Hey Adam, great to have you on. Hey Paula, sorry, trying to read. And hey Mabel, great to have you on as well. And so we become so enmeshed in the other person's stuff because we're playing out our wound, they're playing out their wound, and we get really confused with whose is whose and what's what. And what I love so much, and I'm going to give you a great solution around this because it's been something that I've used literally for the last 10 years of my life, and it has changed my life radically. It has healed so many parts within myself simply because all of those wounds that I'm attracting from another, or a situation or a circumstance, or how I believe them, they were all wounds. They were all rules about how I needed to be, who I needed to be, and what I needed to be doing to be okay in the world, in finally to be enough, finally to be loved, finally to be accepted, finally to feel perfect. And of course, like, perfect is a terrible thing to try and attain, because it's impossible, and we're all perfect and whole and complete exactly as we are right now, continuing to evolve and grow just the same. Hey Nicole, hey Paula, hey Paul, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And please jump in at any point if anybody's got any questions, or you've got something that you're kind of wanting to work through, or something to re-clarify. Please let me know as well, because I'm more than happy to answer any of those things. But now I've lost my train of thought. I do apologize. So we've got all of these wounds, we've got all of these things kind of happening inside. We're already whole, complete, perfect, exactly the way that we are. Just the same as you wouldn't judge a 5-year-old child for not knowing what a year 12 student knows or doesn't know. It's the same as a seedling or a gum tree, like a small baby gum tree, before it's grown into a huge gum tree. You're not going to judge that seedling and go, well, it's incomplete, it's not perfect. It's exactly the same thing, and we do it so often with ourselves because of this ego survival mind, because we're hardwired to fit in as babies, and because we've got all of those subliminal messages. And when we're babies, we don't have an analytical, logical mind. There's no analytical mind to discern the messages that we're getting. And, you know, like, I grew up in an amazing household. I had beautiful, loving, supportive parents, but we've got limited perception as kids as well. So I had, like, all this stuff. I had all of these beliefs around who I needed to be and how I needed to be. And therefore, anything that I saw in others that represented that then triggered me. And this is, like, if you think about any of your most challenging relationships, it'll be what bugs you the most about them is what you hate or dislike, or what you've made wrong in you. And so it becomes this rule. And even if you're no longer doing that behavior, sometimes people find that, oh yes, I've actually been that way or done that way. And an example of this, hey Marianne, great to have you on, darling. An example of this, like, I used to be really triggered by victims. And by victims, I'm not meaning that in a judgmental or awful way or anything else. But when we're blaming circumstances, we're blaming something outside of ourselves, and it's because I was a victim for so long, and then I cut myself off from being that way. So I made it wrong to think that way or to not take full responsibility. But because I disconnected from that part of myself, I was hating on that instead of accepting and loving that part of me that was a victim and being kind and gentle. Because a lot of these personas, a lot of these identities that come through, whether it's the victim or whether it's, you know, maybe there's an anxious part of ourselves, or maybe there's a depressed part of ourselves, but we make it wrong and we judge it, and then all we do is continue that same cycle because we're resisting, because we're angry at, we're frustrated at ourselves for being that way. It's through a full acceptance, and what you'll notice is that you no longer are hooked into other people that behave that way, or that because you no longer be noticing it or judging it within yourself. Therefore you release the judgment of others as well. Hey Helen, great to have you on, gorgeous. It's always great to have you on a Friday. Hey Roz, lovely to see you, darling. So this is one of the main things, and I love when I get excited whenever I'm triggered by somebody's behavior, because this is a way that I've judged myself, or it's a part where I'm still not feeling whole and lovable within myself. And so quite often, and I was watching a video that Russell Brand did the other day, and I love his analogy because it's so good, where he talks about everything being a mirror, where he talks about everything being a reflection. But when we're blaming others for the way that we feel, or blaming a circumstance, but more so blaming others, it's like looking in the mirror, seeing mud on our face, but trying to wipe the mud off the mirror. We're trying to change the other person. We want the other person to be different so we can feel okay about ourselves, or so we can feel without the mud on our face. So it's like we've got this thing and we're looking at this thing, but it's because we can see it in the mirror, and then we get so hooked into wanting to change that other person so we can be okay. And I can promise you it's always who we get pulled into. So we come out of being our normal, beautiful, joyous, natural state, and we get pulled into frustration, we get pulled into anger, we get pulled out of our own center of who we actually naturally are by these circumstances or by these people or the behavior or anything else. But then we blame them, which gives away our power to be able to step back into our own center. So it's like, because of this, I'm angry or I'm frustrated or I'm annoyed at or I'm hurt by because of this, this, and this. So whenever you're blaming something outside of yourself, you've given away your power to be able to change that and bring yourself back to wholeness within yourself. Hope this is making sense. Hey Ricky, great to have you on. And acceptance absolutely is key, Helen. It's not always an easy thing, and you'll know if you've healed that part, because when you see that behavior in others, or you may the behavior for me personally, I just don't notice it anymore in other people. It's just, it no longer becomes a thing. And if I do notice it, it's just like I can send that person love and compassion, knowing how challenging it is to be in that particular state. And that's when we're fully remaining in our own center. Now, let me talk a little bit more about like when we're attracting, the same relationship or the same type of relationship, obviously like with other people, but we're attracting the same thing again and again and again. And we need to really start to discern what is the thought pattern that's going on, what are the beliefs underneath. And I did a lot of work in this area, and just had the most magnificent thing that happened to me the other week, where I felt so much love and so much acceptance from my partner, and I had this kind of like a funky thing going on. It was triggered from, I knew it was all past stuff, all past fears, and I felt like I still needed to give my whole heart, but it wasn't enough. And anyway, I worked through some stuff with a mentor, and it was the most beautiful thing. And it was like, wow, yeah, I can just show up, I can just be me. Like, being me is enough. And I really felt it. And you'll know whether it's true or not for you by the way that you feel. We quite often we can say an affirmation, oh, I'm healthy, or I feel fit, or I'm lovable. But if you don't really feel that, genuinely, deeply feel that in your body, I can promise you there's still some hooks, there's still some stuff to work through. And it's not a one-time certificate either, guys. So like once we're there, it's not like, yeah, I'm there forever. You're gonna have more stuff come up, because life asks us to grow. It asks us to become more and to step into more. Hey Maria, great to have you on. Thank you so much. Yes, Helen, self-responsibility is so powerful, and it is the key to feeling whole, and it's the key to setting yourself free from every challenge, from every circumstance, from every hurt, from every resentment, from every single thing that you've been holding on to from the past. Because that's, let's face it, like, it's a pretty heavy bag to carry, even if it's only got one or two things in it, when we're lugging that thing along from the past, and it keeps you stuck in the past and doesn't allow you to create a new future in the way that you're truly wanting it to be. So back to my story, I was telling my partner how I'd worked through all of this stuff and how I felt like I could give him my whole heart. And this is where the true reflection comes in, because I'd done so much inner work on loving myself and feeling whole and complete and feeling like I was enough. And he said, babe, you don't have to give me your whole heart. He said, your whole heart is for loving you. And he said, I want you to take that back for you and love me from that space. And it was just, it blew me away. I was very emotional at the time, and quite often I've told a couple of other people, and I've cried when I've said it, because it was just so symbolic of that journey that we can often take, where it's like, I need them to love me because I'm not loving me. Or if you're attracting criticism, where are you being critical within yourself? I had another circumstance happen like years and years ago. Thank you so much. And if this is resonating, let me know by sending some love. Of course, we're all talking all about healing our heart and feeling whole and complete and having those beautiful, loving, nurturing, supportive relationships. And so again, like, if you're finding that you feel like you're always the giver? Where are you not allowing yourself to receive? Where have you made it wrong to receive? Thank you for the love. If you aren't feeling supported, where are you not supporting yourself? Quite often, and this is a great exercise, if you're in the realm of looking for a new partner or wanting to create a new relationship within your current relationship, and it's incredibly possible, doing the inner change work changes so much, because as we change who we are, we're no longer attracting that from our partner. But it's crazy how it happens when we're no longer reacting or speaking in a particular way or behaving in a particular way. Then we're not, quite often the partner's behavior, I don't know how it happens, but it changes. It's crazy how it happens, because they're no longer being pulled into our drama or into our enmeshment as well. So the clearer that we are within ourselves, the more whole that we feel within ourselves, the easier it is for other people to be around us as well. And vice versa. But quite often we're blaming the other person, saying they should love themselves more or they should do this. We give whatever advice that you notice that you're giving to others, that's our own medicine. We've got to be doing that for ourselves, and it's such a powerful thing to do. Hey Heather, hey Chris, great to have you guys on. So one thing that, or a couple of things that you can do. So if you're in the realm of like wanting to create either a new intimate relationship, like a brand new relationship, or you're wanting to transform, you're wanting to up level or upgrade your current relationship. I don't like to use that word, but like up level it, or make it even more satisfying or more intimate, or a deeper connection, deeper love, then I would do this work. And what it is writing down, you take your current partner out of it and just write down who your ideal partner would be. So what is it? What are the attributes? How would they be living life? What would they be doing? How would they be communicating with you? How would they be supporting you perhaps? How would you know that you're truly loved by that person? So you write down all of those things. You create a really big list, and it's not to judge the other person from. I want to take that out. It's you coming from a place of creating and stepping into what is it that would really light your heart up? What would really help you to feel amazing? Then you go back through that list and you ask yourself, am I being that person for myself? And that's really, really, really key, because quite often when we're wanting a more supportive partner or wanting them to give more, it's because we're actually not taking great care of ourselves. We've been conditioned by society to negate all of our own needs, that it's selfish to take care of ourselves, when it's actually self-responsible. The first thing they say in an emergency, thank you so much for all the love. Hey Erica, lovely to have you on, darling. The first thing they say in an emergency on an aeroplane, who do you put the oxygen mask on first? Do you run around and put it on everyone else? No, you put it on yourself. If your battery is empty, guys, if your tank is empty, there's nothing left to give from. And quite often we end up giving from obligation, have to, need to, should, must, and it feels terrible to give from that space. I've done it for years, and then I blame everybody else as well, around me. A lot of the time, like in my head, I don't actually, I think I used to speak it out loud, but when I'm feeling that way, then it's like I become angry and resentful, but it's because I'm seeking their approval rather than giving back to me. So I'm doing all of these things not from a place of true giving, but from a place of needing approval, because my self-worth was so low at the time. And it's a difficult situation. It's challenging because we're so desperate for love by that point, and generally it's a downward spiral. So the more desperate we become, the more insecure we become, the more we're needing other people's approval. We get even more hooked into needing that external validation, and it creates this whole schmozzle. Whereas when you're taking great care of yourself, you're living life in a way that truly works for you. And a great question that Joe Dispenza said, hey Di, lovely to have you on, darling. A great question that Joe Dispenza suggested that we ask ourselves is this truly loving to me? Because if it's not truly loving to me, I'm hurting me. And that's not okay. Quite often, we'll ignore that, we'll dismiss that, we won't listen to that, but then we blame our partner for not listening to us, for not supporting it to us, not giving to us, or for being a particular way. So there's so many wounds that really, and everybody's carrying their own wound. And and when I say our own wounds, you know, we're all on that path to coming back to discovering who we really are, to feel that sense of wholeness, completeness, enoughness within ourselves. And it's such a joy when you have that feeling, because when you give from that space, oh my God, like it feels incredible. It comes from a true place of love with no attachment. There's nothing that you need from the other person. And if you find yourself saying, oh yeah, well, I like to give, I'm a great giver, but nobody ever appreciates what I do, that's when we're still seeking that validation. And I've certainly been there. There's, again, no judgment around that. But we can all get hooked into that, right? It's like, but also, like, is that loving to you to continue to give in a situation where perhaps, you know, it's not actually really serving you? Because if you're looking for appreciation, then you're looking for something else other than just pure giving. And I say that with absolute love. I feel like I've kind of just said the same thing twice there, but maybe it was really important for that to come through again. So how do we like start to pull this apart? How do you figure out what your wounds are, and what your partner's wounds are? And like I said, I often find that you know, the wounds will be on the opposite side. So maybe there's been a partner that's cheated, and maybe there's a partner that's been cheated on, and so or, you know, abandonment. Like there's so many different things there that can kind of come up, and it's like doing the inner work. What are my own beliefs? So to elicit my own beliefs, because it's the beliefs that keep you stuck. It keeps you in this loop. This is the way that life is, and a lot of that is actually subconscious. We may not even be conscious of the thought that we're having, and so it could be men are or women are, and just brainstorm. Like just keep saying that men are, or relationships are. I used to have the most terrible beliefs about relationships are toxic, consuming, draining, like just terrible beliefs. It's like, how am I going to attract a really genuinely loving and supportive relationship when I truly believe in my subconscious and my mind that this is what relationships are? So it's super powerful. Thank you so much, Helen. That's beautiful, lovely. That's wonderful. Hey Juanita, great to have you on too, darling. And hey Kiralee, always lovely to have you on too. Thank you so much, Helen. That's just gorgeous stuff. So doing the work, or I am. Write down, like, and you might be shocked by what kind of comes out. Get your own mind. Don't sit there and go, I am. It's just like rapid fire, because that's where you're going to start getting, and keep going for as long as you can. The longer that you go with this stuff, the deeper that you go with the subconscious mind. Then when you get the beliefs, and you'll be like, oh my God, yeah, I've got those beliefs. So then I do the Byron Katie work, and I've talked about the Byron Katie work a lot. And bless Lisa, so it's I love your vulnerability, honey. And look, I've been working on it for 10 years, darling. So, and it's a continual work in progress. I love, you know, another friend of mine was doing a talk one time, and she was saying, you know, your life is like a construction zone. And I truly believe that. We're always pulling something down that's no longer working for us and building a new foundation of something that's actually really resourceful and supportive. And I think it's an ongoing process. Certainly has been for me. I think, you know, is there ever going to be a place or a time where it's like, no, I'm kind of done now? I think when that happens, that's when I'll pass over from physicality, because I'm here for a reason. I'm here to reconnect with my soul at a deep level, and to give love and to receive love, you know. But when we're giving love from that really genuine place of giving love, you're also receiving it at the same time, because you can't give what you haven't got, and you can't feel what you're giving. You can't not feel what you're giving. So when you're giving love, you're feeling love, you're receiving love in that moment that you're also giving love. And I will pop it below as well. I've been doing Joe Dispenza's Turning Your Love Inward meditation. Oh my God, I cry every single time. It's just immense love, like being flooded back into my system. And so it's so beautiful. I love that. And Byron Katie's so amazing as well too, Roz. That's fantastic. Her book, 1,000 Names for Joy, but loving what is. And I would recommend, if anybody's having relationship challenges, get that book. It is so powerful, because you'll see how we fight reality. And when we're fighting reality, we will always lose 100% of the time, because we're trying to make somebody else different. We're trying to make a circumstance different, rather than doing the inner work and coming to peace with what is from that space. And it's, like I said, it's been some of the most powerful work that I've done. But hey, Linda, great to have you on, darling. But I will pop this meditation below. You will need to purchase it and download it on your computer to be able to utilize it. It goes for about 20 minutes. It is so powerful. So it is more specifically for women, but certainly, you know, men could do it as well. Just Joe does use language like goddesses and women, and you know, giving to children, like, well, men obviously give to children as well, but like from a mothering kind of point of view. But I'll pop that in here as a link as well. It's been hugely powerful for myself and so beautiful. And yes, it's so great, isn't it, Roz? But her other book, A Thousand Names for Joy, just really helps to describe the level of freedom that she's actually living by as well. Like, it's crazy. Like, she questions everything. She doesn't believe a thing. And she's actually said in one of her books, or one of her interviews, that my pleasure, guys. She's actually said in one of her interviews that she's actually had to start lying to herself now to be able to have normal conversations, because she's actually even questioned the thought, am I a woman? Or I am a woman, so she'll question the thought on that, or that's a tree. So anything that's got like a name, she's just released all ideas, all concepts. So she is like completely limitless, completely free in that sense. It might sound a little bit crazy, because the ego survival mind, it forms all of these concepts, it forms all of these rules, because it's trying to keep itself safe, and it's trying to figure out what's the rules of the game in this life. So it's trying to work out, okay, well, if I do that, then this happens, or if I do that, then that happens. And of course, then we do that enough times, and then it starts to form a belief, but we're actually attracting that experience because of what we've got going on internally. So if you're attracting, you know, relationships that are less than healthy, and then write down whatever it is that you're experiencing. So it could be, you know, men are, or relationships are, or women are, or whatever's kind of going on for you there. And then I am. Find your beliefs that are really painful or not supportive. So whatever you're wanting to create, you need to have a supportive belief around that. If you're wanting more wealth, I am open and able to receive wealth. If you're wanting greater levels of health or physical energy, there needs to be a belief that actually supports that, not I'm a fat, lazy pig. Obviously, that's a pretty unresourceful thought or statement to say. Certainly said it to myself years ago around how I, you know, it wasn't supportive in me feeling great, in feeling vibrant, in feeling whole, complete, in boosting my energy. So all of our beliefs need to support what it is that we're wanting to create moving forward. So whatever you find out of writing or brainstorming or doing the brain dump on all of those things. So if there's like, or I need other people to, that's also a really, really great one. Hey, Linda, great to have you on. When there's the belief, I need other people to love me, appreciate me, thank me, speak respectfully to me, communicate with me, message me, like any of that stuff. Anytime there's like, I need other people to, or other people should, and just start to become more conscious of the conversations that you have and what it is that you're talking about in that, because this is where you'll get your greatest awarenesses around, I'm speaking this event over and over and over again, or I'm speaking about the same hurt. Oh my God, I can't believe they did this, this, and this to me. So write down whatever that statement is. So other people should love and respect me. And then you go through it and it's like, can I absolutely know that's true? And sometimes the ego is like, absolutely, like, yes. But what I've found is when I've sat with that thought for long enough, I've actually found it's a no. Because, you know, sometimes other people aren't respectful of themselves. Like, again, Byron Katie is like, don't fight reality. Like, when you fight reality, you will only lose 100% of the time. If other people aren't being respectful, they're not being respectful. It's only because we have such a strong rule around needing to be respectful or needing to be respected, because we're not respecting ourselves, or we've judged ourselves in the past for not being respectful. So this is where this inner hook kind of comes in, guys. So it's really powerful. Teenage sons. I have teenage daughters, but I've done this work for long enough now. I've kind of, anything that comes up, I just free myself immediately from that, but I can definitely relate, Michelle. So, I need other people to respect me or love me, or appreciate me. And so how do I feel when I believe that thought? Oh my God, I feel angry. I feel annoyed. I feel frustrated. I feel let down. I feel hurt. I feel like I'm not valued. Like, go through it. And then who do I become and what do I do when I believe that thought? So you guys can be writing these questions down. Who do I become when I believe that thought? And what do I do when I believe the thought? Other people, I get really defensive. I get guarded. I want to protect myself. I withdraw. I isolate myself. I feel angry. I feel resentful. I get angry back at them, even if I'm not verbalizing it, I'm thinking it. And what do? I shut myself off from the world. I want to hide from the world, or I want to isolate myself, or I don't want to be around people. How do I feel about myself when I believe this thought? Oh my God, I feel devalued. I feel like I'm not appreciated. I feel like I'm not respected. I feel awful. I feel worthless. I feel like, and so get the tissue box ready too, guys. I know that I'm talking through this like this, but when I've done this work personally for myself, I have been a blubbering mess. So I want to let you know, the deeper that you can go with this work, because the mind lets go of a concept only when it knows that it's hurting itself. So because all of these thoughts, all of these beliefs have been pro-survival. They've been formed in order to try and protect you, because you're trying to stay safe in the world, but all it's doing is actually creating pain for you now. So the mind will only let go of it. It's kind of like if you picked a hot coal up from the fire, you let go of the coal only when you realize that it's burning you. And so it's the same. So the deeper that you can go with the work, the more that you can find where it's hurting you in life, where it's creating pain in your life. It's always the thought. It's never the event, the circumstance. Hey, Haley, great to have you on. So you ask yourself, how do I feel about myself with that belief? How do I feel about others? Oh, I don't like them. I resent them. I get angry at them. I'm frustrated with them. And then it's, how do I feel without that thought? Oh, if I didn't have that thought, oh my God, I'd feel just a bit freer. And you feel this sense of lightness come through. Sometimes when you've believed something for so long, it can be difficult to imagine what it would be like without that thought. But again, the more you can stay with the work, the more that you question the work, or work through the questions, and then how would I feel without the thought? Or if the thought just didn't exist, if it just wasn't there, how would I feel? Oh my God, I just feel relieved. I'd feel more loving. And then you go back through the other questions again. Who do I become and what do I do without the thought? Oh my God, I'm so much more open-hearted. I'm so much more accepting. I'm so much more compassionate. Oh my God, I love who I am. I'm more accepting of myself. I love and appreciate myself. I'm respectful of myself. I can be respectful in my conversations with others. So it's really powerful work. Hey, Justine. And so the more that, again, you're diving into this work and you're working through that and you're releasing it. And then I always love to do the turnaround. And the turnaround is whatever we're expecting from or wanting from others, we put our own name in there as well. So we take out, so it's exactly the same statement. So I need others to respect me and appreciate me. I need me to respect me and appreciate me. How might that be true? Oh my God, yep, that's true. So often when, if others are being critical, or I felt like other stuff's kind of been going on, it's really digging deep to figure out, where is that reflection in me? Where's the pain within me? How can I now release that? So I'll pop Byron Katie's work. She's got a great, two great worksheets. One is working on your own beliefs. So the own belief is, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. The Judge Your Neighbor worksheet is fantastic for if you've got a challenge coming up with somebody, and by working through that worksheet, you will be able to see, oh, I'm judging them for everything that I judge myself for, and that's where the true freedom's found. When you heal that within yourself, you will no longer attract that circumstance in your life. Hey, Leanne, great to have you on. So if you've just jumped on, maybe jump back, watch the replay, guys. There's so much in that about really just realizing that every relationship or everything that's happening to us externally is a reflection of a deeper belief or a deeper wound that's actually going on internally. And you will create so much more freedom in your life by doing this work. It's such powerful work for so long. Hey Ali, great to have you on, hun. It's so powerful doing this work simply because the kinder that you are, the more accepting that you are of you, the more loving that you are of you, then you release the need to have that from anybody else. And I have a beautiful statement, which is, when I love me, I set everyone free, because it just allows everybody to be in their own stuff. Everybody else has got their wounds going on. Everybody else has got all their challenges and their stuff. And I can promise you, if they're showing up in a way that is really hurtful, or it feels like they're personally attacking you, it's because they are so wounded internally. And I know sometimes it's difficult to even comprehend that, because it's, you know, it can be so challenging when we're in that situation. And I've had, you know, that very own circumstance in my own life, and it was literally healed through this process. I kept on finding gratitude for the situation, as difficult as that was, and how it was making me stronger, how I had actually been so critical and so negative. This person was literally saying everything that my worst fears about me. And when I healed that within myself, when I loved me and I could respond purely from a place of compassion, I would never respond to this person until I was completely centered back in my own self, until I'd released all of the emotional hooks about that situation. And you know, quite a few months later, I received text messages back from this particular person saying, "Oh my God, you're such an inspiration. You've changed my life. I have no idea how you were so kind, how you were so loving when I was being so mean and vicious." And you know, there was all this stuff that was kind of going on, and it literally transformed because I wasn't choosing to react from my own wounds. I healed my own wounds. I used that situation, and it is much more difficult to do with family. With family, we tend to have much higher rules and much higher, you know, but they shouldn't have done that. Like, we have much stronger beliefs with family. I found it was much easier to let go of stuff with other people rather than family or people that are super, super close to us, because they're bigger wounds, right? You're more invested in that relationship, you're wanting that love, and so there's greater wounds with all of that. So I truly hope that that's been helpful for you guys. Have a beautiful and blessed weekend. To Erica, thank you so much, darling. Oh, you're so gorgeous. And if anybody's kind of struggling in this area, please reach out to me or jump in and do the Byron Katie work. Like, start doing some of that work for yourself. I have an amazing adventure coming up in September. I'm running a quantum manifestation retreat, so you will learn so much more about all of this, but in every facet of life. So we are going to be working on relationships. You're going to be working on your relationship with yourself, coming back to that wholeness within yourself, but also transforming and getting beyond any limitations or any thoughts that you've had around how life should be, or just, you know, really transforming things at the highest level as well. So I'm super, super excited to be running that. If you're wanting more information, it is in September from the 18th to the 22nd. It's on the Gold Coast. I have some incredible experiences planned, helping us to let go of a little bit more of that control and to really step into the greatest version of ourselves, to live from a happier place and being more authentically us as well. So thank you so much, Roz. Thank you, Helen. Yes, dates 18th to the 22nd, darling. If you want more information, just send me a quick PM. I can send it through. I will be creating a video on it today, so I'll get that up as well, which will give you guys a little hint of what we'll be doing and what we'll be experiencing up there. But it really will be next level, and taking things to the next level, really expanding. It's only very limited places. I've got 1 spot sold already. There's only 4 spots left, because I'll be working one-on-one with you all as we move through that experience and really helping helping you to dive deep, to break through anything that's been stopping you, or any stories that you've held on to from the past that have really created pain or wounds for you, and stepping into that next new adventure as well. So if that resonates and you want to come play, it is by application only, and reach out to me, let me know, and I can send you some more details and we can chat. So have a magnificent day. Thank you, Roz. Thank you, Benita. Thank you, Helen. So much love and gratitude for you all. Have a great day. Mwah. Bye.